2017 Nissan Navara NP300 Review. Nissan has brought its third-generation Navara, the NP300, to the forefront. Considering that there are refreshed versions of the Ford Ranger, Toyota Hilux, Volkswagen Amarok and Mitsubishi L200 all entering the market, the Nissan has some stiff competition. However, this fight for supremacy is only set to intensify with the Renault Alaskan based on the Navara and Fiat Fullback based on the L200 both priming themselves to enter the battle, while Mercedes-Benz, Peugeot and Citroën are all watching on from the horizon. Therefore it's a good thing that Nissan has been thorough with the NP300, then. Although the chassis and 4WD system are modified versions of those found on the second-generation Navara, everything else is new. The engine has predictably been downsized and now comes in at 2.3 liters, a reduction of around 200 cc. Two outputs are available, 158 bishop and 187 bishop. You might expect Nissan to have simply cranked the boost up to get the additional power, but they've been a little more thorough than that, bolting on an extra turbo to create extra grunt. Naturally, both engines feature economy and emissions improvements, too. The big news is that the double cab ditches the old-school leaf-sprung rear end of the previous generation. In its place is an all-new 5-link setup with coil springs that promises greater ride comfort and improved handling. Despite this change, it can still carry over a ton in the bed and tow 3.5 tons. While King Cab models still soldier on with cart springs, these will account for less than 10% of projected sales and are likely to be bought purely as workhorses. As the double cab is the one that will appeal to private buyers, potentially as an alternative to an SUV, that's the model we're looking at here. We're not going to beat around the bush. The NP300 Navara has the best ride comfort of any unladen pickup we've experienced, although the latest generation Toyota Hilux has run it close. Where the previous generation Navara and other leaf-sprung competitors would become bouncy and unsettled, the new model feels much more like a conventional SUV. Even over sizable bumps, the rear end soaked up the initial hit before settling back down again almost immediately. Any pogo action you might have expected is notable only by its absence, which makes for much more comfortable progress over a variety of surfaces. Handling is also much improved. You can carry a surprising amount of speed around bends while even rapid direction changes are completed without fuss. You'd never call it fun, slow steering and the laws of physics see to that, but it really does feel like a very stable vehicle and much better than you'd expect from a pickup. Despite this, the NP300 is still more than capable off-road. The double cab is 4WD only and comes complete with a low-range box, hill descent control and excellent axle articulation. If you want to get really serious, the rear diff lock is on the options list, too. Up a steep and rocky trail, the Navara didn't even break into a sweat. While it is a significant step forward over the old model, there are still reminders that the Navara is, in essence, the working vehicle. The rear suspension is a massive improvement, but there's no getting away from the fact there's a heavy-duty live axle attached to a ladder frame chassis. Go over the vicious bump on one side and you can feel the rear wheels are connected, and you do get the odd shimmy from the body. Ultimately, A conventional SUV with a monocoque structure and less unsprung weight will ride and handle better. It wouldn't be able to carry over a ton in the back, though. Nissan is claiming the interior has been inspired by its crossovers. At first glance, our top-spec test model appears similar to a Qashqai or X-Trail. There are 4 other trims to choose from, including the entry-level Vizia, Ascent, Ascent Plus and Connected. There's attractive piano black trim, a sprinkling of metal effect detailing plus a touchscreen infotainment system with navigation and a round-viewed monitor, particularly handy on something this big. The entry-level Vizia models come equipped with steel wheels, air conditioning and a 6-way manually adjustable driver's seat, while upgrading to Ascent gets you alloy wheels, a range of chrome details, and keyless entry and go. Ascent Plus model get 18-in alloys, side steps, dual-zone climate control, the reversing camera, and heated, electrically folding mirrors included in the package, while the Connected trim gains a 7.0-inch touchscreen Nissan Connect infotainment system with sat-nav, DAB, Bluetooth streaming capability and smartphone integration. The range-topping spec gets most in the way of luxury appeal in the shape of roof rails, LED headlights, front heated seats, leather upholstery, rear parking sensors, a 360-degree camera and electrically adjustable driver's seat. Further inspection reveals that although it looks crossover-like, it's still a commercial vehicle at heart. The leather steering wheel and gear lever are nice enough, but those expecting the seat of soft-touch plastics should look elsewhere. Everything is solid and will no doubt be tough as old boots, but the plastics are all hard to the touch. This workmanlike quality extends to the engine. You are always aware that there's a fairly big diesel melt up front, and it gets particularly thrashy above 3,000 RPM. Performance is respectable with either engine output. It's no ball of fire, but it's always able to keep pace with traffic. Given the choice, we'd opt for the 187 Bishop unit simply because you don't have to work it quite as hard. From a driving perspective, we'd also be tempted by the automatic gearbox. It can be a little sluggish from a standing start and the upshift could be smoother, but it's better than the long throw and occasionally vague manual box. Wearing our sensible trousers, it's worth knowing that the 7-speed automatic does increase CO2 levels from 169 g/km to 183 g/km, while economy tumbles from 44.1 mpg to 40.3 mpg. It should also be noted that the 187 Bishop is the only option should you want an auto or one of the top-tier trim levels. The Navara is far more comfortable than its competition, looks good in the metal to these eyes at least, and yet it's still able to carry or tow big loads. Therefore, if you are in the market for a pickup, it is the one to go for. But is it a direct competitor to an SUV? That's a tricky question to answer. There's no doubt an SUV would offer cheaper running costs, better rear seat accommodation, should handle even better and probably have a higher level of perceived quality inside. Not that this will matter that much to many people who are likely to buy a Navara, though. The idea of a do-everything lifestyle vehicle is the appeal here. That the Nissan doesn't drive exactly like a crossover is no real issue. By narrowing the gap between pickup and SUV, the Navara has become one of the best pickups out there. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.